All right.
There we go.
Hi, Remy.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Little sick, but we'll make it.
Yeah, I know. I really appreciate you making time, and I know that you're sick, and we kind of had to push this back a little bit. But again, I really do appreciate you making time and wanting to learn as well as wanting to help me grow throughout this whole process. So again, thank you for your time. It's not going unnoticed. I really do appreciate it.
No worries, it's that time of year, so gotta figure a way to navigate it anyways.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get into this session, I just want to know if there's anything urgent on your mind or anything that might hold you back from being completely present during this session, or just anything that you need to get off your chest immediately and might feel better after, getting that out.
I don't think at this time I have anything like that. I'm pretty excited for the process.
Awesome. Okay. So, without further ado, I guess we'll just jump right into it. Again,
Perfect.
yeah, thank you for joining me today. I'm super excited to continue our coaching journey and introduce an essential part of this process, which is the 360-degree feedback assessment, which hopefully you saw in your email already.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So today's session will focus on understanding what the 360-degree feedback is, discussing how it will play a role and help you grow and help you start your own development, as well as see how our self-assessment comes into play. And we'll also touch on any initial thoughts or follow-up questions that you may have throughout this entire process.
Perfect.
Okay, sweet. So let's get started. So by the 360-degree feedback and um, is going to be again essential to this whole process. So I kind of just want to cover why we feel like it's so valuable and such an important part. And essentially, this process gathers feedback from multiple perspectives, being your peers, managers, direct reports, and even yourself to provide a holistic view of your strengths and areas where you might need to grow.
Okay.
Yeah, so the goal is to ultimately give you a comprehensive understanding of how others perceive you in various areas, such as communication, leadership, and collaboration.
Okay.
So we'll focus on your own perspective by conducting a self-assessment and today, which will give us insight into how you view yourself, which will be compared to the feedback from others. And I believe it's an excellent way to identify any gaps between self-perception and external perception.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, you are all good. I totally understand. It's that time of the year.
There we go.
So yeah, the feedback process is, again, I want to not understate, it is completely confidential. Your raters will submit their responses anonymously, which allows for honest and constructive insight. Our role will be to interpret and use this feedback to set actionable goals for your development. So does this make sense so far, kind of?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Do you have any initial thoughts or concerns about this whole 360-degree process?
No, it kind of just sounds like assessing where I'm at and where I can go from here.
Right.
Okay.
So let's dive into the self-assessment part. I've kind of created a self category with a few questions in our discussion guide. So we can explore the same questions that I'll be asking your raters. And this will kind of help us capture your perspective and serve as a baseline for comprehension or for comparison, my bad. So, you ready to answer some
Do it.
questions?
Do it.
All right. So, first question. What do you consider your greatest strengths in your current role? And feel free to take as much time as you need.
I would say I'm pretty good at being able to find an empathetic point of view rather than just looking at the first impression of a situation, but kind of seeing why something is happening.
Okay, I love that. So empathy is definitely a strong suit for you.
Yes.
Awesome. How do you see empathy playing a vital role in your position?
Well, I see it because, from a sales perspective, it's we're trying to make people's lives better, and to see what it is that's making them feel like they need to come in the first place, and trying to see, where you need to be softer and kinder with people and their journeys rather than so upfront with them.
That's amazing. I love that. Next question. What areas do you feel need improvement or development?
I would say when dealing with, frustrated members and customers, kind of a de-escalation and conflict resolution area.
Okay, so those difficult conversations and
Mhm.
difficult people trying to figure out ways through that.
Yeah, navigating different personalities that you meet along the way.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to run into a lot of difficult people and difficult scenarios. So being prepared is definitely a huge part of this whole process. All right, moving on. How do you describe your own leadership or collaboration style?
I think it's not bad. I think there's definitely room for improvement, but I try to help out where I can or jump in if I see someone struggling, just to, see if I can make a situation go smoother than it currently is.
Awesome. Would you say your role is more of a leadership type role? Do you find yourself helping out even your own colleagues or just people that look like they are in need?
I don't know if I would call it leadership as more of a teamwork aspect,
Totally.
but it does feel like leadership sometimes with like newer hires and people, that are new to the environment and the job and helping them figure it out as well.
Right. Being able to, step out of what you're ultimately just kind of assigned to do and going above that is huge. And I love to hear
Mhm.
that. So, moving on to the next one, what feedback have you received from whether it's coworkers, bosses, managers, and how have you kind of acted on their feedback?
It's kind of contradictory to the first part of the questions, but I've learned to take a step back from a situation where there's heavy emotions rather than just acting on the emotion that they're showing me in like a tough situation. So kind of seeing all perspectives, but seeing the facts at the same time.
Right. That's very difficult to do. So that's a huge strength to have and something that I believe everyone can get better at. It's hard to not take emotion into any scenario. And again, talking about those difficult people and difficult situations that we're put in, a lot of time it is outside emotion that's driving them and the situation. So,
Exactly.
yeah, being able to take a step back is huge. All right, last question here for you. How do you think your peers, managers, and your coworkers, direct reports perceive you?
I think I am perceived as someone that is capable of handling new situations, um, and showing efficiency, but at times needs to, slow down within the process.
Okay, awesome. I love hearing the word capable, honestly. It's a strong one. Okay. Yeah. So I have some notes down, obviously, and we'll have you be able to type out and think about these questions a lot more so I can have a little bit of a better understanding. And also, of course, they will go out to your raters. So they will be able to answer these as well. Do you have any questions about this whole self-assessment part?
Not with the self-assessment part.
Okay. Okay, well, I do really appreciate you and thank you for sharing your thoughts.
No, no worries.
This is honestly a great starting point for me and our work together with the whole 360-degree feedback process.
Hmm.
Now that we've gone through this little self-assessment part, I just kind of want to explore any initial reactions or follow-up questions that you might have, if there are any.
Um, the only kind of area that I'm curious about is who are going to be the people, like the raters, who's rating me.
Right. And that's totally up to you again. These are
Okay.
people, these can be friends, coworkers, bosses, managers, whoever you feel that you will get the most out of.
Hmm.
And again, it is anonymous, so you're not going to know who's saying what. You will know kind of the group of people that you are giving this out to,
Hmm.
getting feedback from them in order to grow in areas that you most want to see is kind of the whole point of this, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay. And I just have a couple follow-up topics that I want you to think about, and maybe we could talk about a little bit while we have a little bit of time, if that's okay.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So I want to know how comfortable you are with receiving feedback from bosses, coworkers, friends, and this whole scenario.
I think I've gotten better at it. I think knowing it's coming from a place of trying to help makes it easy. So I would like to say I'm good at receiving feedback.
Okay. And so you feel comfortable with
Mhm.
being able to send it out to people. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are there any specific areas where you're particularly curious to hear feedback?
Probably in that department of, de-escalation and conflict resolution, that kind of area.
Yeah, that's big area. And finally, what do you hope to achieve by going through this whole 360 process?
I hope that in the end, I have a better understanding of, where to come from when handling situations and just navigating the job and honestly life as well. Just
Right.
making, it easier to navigate situations.
Right. And yeah, that's all I want is to ultimately help you, whether that be in your direct work or just life in general.
Mhm.
And as we go through this whole process together and talk through everything, get all this feedback back, hopefully we can both grow together and have a better understanding of ourselves and ways we can work through difficult situations and situations that are not always easy for us.
Perfect.
So, yeah, as we move forward, we will definitely analyze the feedback together that we get and use it to identify actionable goals to support our growth.
Mhm.
And I believe today's work has definitely set that foundation for a lot of meaningful insights. And hopefully, these people that you send it out to will be creating these meaningful insights and areas for us to really dive deep into.
Yeah, me too.
And so, do you have any questions about anything at this point in the process?
I don't believe so. I think you've, navigated it pretty well, and you've given me a clear understanding of what's going to be happening when.
Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I have. And to wrap it up, I would like to kind of summarize what we've accomplished today in this whole process. Let's see. So, we've discussed the purpose and the process of the 360-degree feedback. We got to conduct your self-assessment and kind of started exploring some goals and expectations for this whole journey.
Hmm.
And for our next steps, I will be sending you um, the 360 rating email. If you already haven't got it, I can send it again.
Hmm.
Um, so we can get those out to your chosen participants.
Hmm.
And once we gather their feedback, we'll be able to review it together and dive deeper into any key themes that emerge during that process.
Perfect. And how many people are we looking to try to bring in for this collaboration?
We'll start off small for
Okay.
sure because it's again my first time doing this and may probably yours, I'm assuming. So yeah, we'll start off small and we'll definitely learn together. And if we need to send out any more, if we want to, we definitely can look into doing that.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just want to say between now and our next session, I do encourage you to reflect on kind of what we talked about and discussed today,
Mhm.
particularly your responses to the self-assessment questions. And if there are any additional areas you'd like feedback on, feel free to reach out and let me know because we can definitely add those questions in to what your participants are going to be getting.
Okay. Sounds good.
Again, thank you for your openness. I really do appreciate it and your engagement today. I am honestly really excited about this process and looking forward to our next session and kind of diving into this and see what people have to say and see where we can really take our next sessions and see the goals that we can achieve.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll be an exciting process.
Awesome. And while I have you on Zoom, are there any times this week that are open for you that we can meet, pre preferably later in the week, so we can give people time to get their emails out and get feedback?
Let me see. I think Friday should be the best option for me.
Okay. Do you have a specific time on Friday that would work best?
I think I'm pretty open on Friday. So Friday I'm good for whenever.
Okay, sweet. I will send you um either email or text on a couple available times that I have. So
Perfect.
yeah. So between now and Friday, probably today, I'll get you the emails and paperwork that we'll be sending out to your chosen participants. And yeah, either today or tomorrow, just send it out. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining me today. And I really do appreciate your time. I know you're not feeling the best. And of course, if anything arises during our during now and our next meeting, feel free to reach out. You have my number, my email. If you want to hop on a Zoom, I'd be more than happy to. Of
Alrighty. Of
All right. Thank you, Remy.
course. Have a good one.